Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh, and welcome to Ahkam SOS, the show that discusses Islamic duties and practices. I'm your host, Mohsin Shah, and we're going to be taking all of your questions live here on Imam Hussein TV. Now, if you have any question you'd like to ask, please send it in via the WhatsApp number, should be there on the bottom. You can scan the QR code. Otherwise, you can send it in via Facebook Live, YouTube, in the comment section. You can call in 0203 515 0199 or call the WhatsApp number there below. And inshallah, we'll be able to discuss and answer all of your questions. Joining me, as always, is our resident Sheikh, Ali Ma'ar. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
How are you doing this evening, Sheikh?
As'adallah ayyamakum.
As'adallah ayyamakum, Sheikhna. It is the holy month of Sha'ban. We have so many birthdays. Yesterday, we were celebrating the birth of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Tonight, most of us are going to be celebrating the birth of Abu Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. Any hadith or anything you have on Imam Hussein or on Abu Fadl, any of the month of Sha'ban, anything you can give us?
Inshallah. A'udhu billahi as-sami' al-alim min ash-shaytan ar-rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi at-tahirin wa la'natullah ala a'da'ihim ajma'in. There's a hadith by the authority of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam. He narrated this hadith or this advice, admonishment from his father, Imam Hussein salamullah alayhi.
Assalamu alaikum.
That he said, that my father said, Imam Sajjad says, that my father said, alayhi salam, Ya bunay, iyaka wa dhulma man la yajidu alayki nasiran illa Allah. Oh my son, make sure that you do not oppress anyone in which they would have a supporter except Allah Azza wa Jal. In other words, don't oppress anyone that if that individual eyes was towards Allah Azza wa Jal and he would ask Allah Azza wa Jal and their hope against you is to turn to Allah Azza wa Jal, then be careful, because you will get the punishment in this dunya for oppressing this individual before the akhirah. So be careful. Do not oppress anyone, be it as a father, as a mother, as a brother, as a sister, as a manager, as a colleague at work, at school, college, university, as a teacher. Make sure you don't oppress anyone. So, because if they turn to Allah Azza wa Jal, and of course with a broken heart, then expect the worst case in your life.
Yes.
Loss of money, loss of wealth, loss of health, well-being. It could be anything. So one should not oppress anyone for any reason, even their own kids. Don't hit them in a way that you want to avenge from what they did, for example. So we ask Allah Azza wa Jal that we try to follow their footsteps and learn from their narrations, and inshallah we can visit them in Karbala soon, inshallah.
Inshallah. Beautiful dua. Quick reminder to all our viewers that the phone lines are open right now. You can call or text the WhatsApp number there, QR code's in the corner. Go straight to the WhatsApp page and you can put in your question there. If you're watching on Facebook Live or you're watching on YouTube, put your questions in the comment section, and inshallah the technical team will be able to send them to me on my iPad and we'll be able to answer your questions, inshallah. First question. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. Sheikhna, it is the 14th of February, it is Valentine's Day. Am I allowed to give cards and give out presents on this day?
The thing is, if it's to do with the opposite gender, of course we said that that opposite gender who is not halal to you in terms of through a nikah contract, marriage and so forth, then that is some kind of friendship.
So is it inappropriate?
Inappropriate or haram relationship in which would cause, of course, romance and so forth. So that would be haram.
Okay.
But to show your love towards your parents, buy them gifts, it's great. And you have also the 3rd of Sha'ban, 4th of Sha'ban. We are celebrating those great occasions. It's nice to buy a red rose, for example, for your parents, for your wife, or for the husband. That would be a great opportunity with the intention of the Sha'ban Mawalid, inshallah.
Fantastic. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. I heard that the name Hussein was given to Imam Hussein by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is this true?
Yes, indeed. This narration in one of the books mentioned about, I think, Bihar al-Anwar and such like, that when the Imam was born, Fatima alayhi salam brought Imam Hussein to Imam Ali alayhi salam to name him. He said, ما كنت لأسبق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. I wouldn't name him unless I see Rasulullah, and I want him as the grandfather of this child to name him as a sign of respect to Rasulullah, the messenger of Allah Azza wa Jal. Sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. So he takes them to Rasulullah. The Holy Prophet says, ما كنت لأسبق ربي. I wouldn't also name except Allah. I ask Allah Azza wa Jal. And then Jibreel comes, descends, and he says, سمه Shabir. Name him Shabir. The like of the son of Harun, the brother of Musa alayhi salam. Yeah. The Prophet said, Lisani Arabi, I speak Arabic. Then he said to him, سمه Hussein alayhi salam. Name him Hussein. So this is a long narration of this regard, in which Jibreel himself came from Allah Azza wa Jal to name Imam Hussein Hussein. I think there's a similar story with Imam Hussein as well, isn't it? Exactly the same story. Exactly. And we have with Zainab alayhi salam as well.
Oh wow.
Similar as well, yes.
Nice. From YouTube, Assalamu alaikum, dear brother and sisters. What are the fundamentals? Why are the fundamentals of Shiaism not found in the Quran? If somebody who knew nothing about Islam reads the Quran, they would understand Sunnism but not Shiaism. Why is that? So I'm assuming this person is saying that, why are core beliefs of Shia Islam not found in the Quran? But Sheikh, they are, aren't they? We have Tawheed, Adala, Nubuwah, Imama, and Qiyamah, all found in the Quran.
You see, there's a connection of facts and means to understand the Holy Quran. And that's what the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he left us with two weighty things. This hadith is mentioned, Hadith al-Thaqalain, in the books of Shia and the Ahl Sunnah as well. In the Sahih, the sixth Sahih, you'll find it there. That the Prophet said, I leave two weighty things, Kitabullah wa itrati Ahl Bayti. That I leave the Holy Book and my progeny, my family. You cannot understand the Holy Quran without Ahl Bayt alayhim salam, because they are the true interpreters and mufassir and mu'awwil of the Quranic verses. You can't go back to anyone else, not even Ibn Abbas. He hasn't got that knowledge to be able to interpret the Holy Quran, because the Prophet said Ahlul Bayti, my family, and he mentions the names, Fatima, Ali, Hassan, Hussein, and then of course their offspring to Imam al-Mahdi Ajjallah Farajahu al-Sharif. They are the only ones who know the Quran inside out, because the Holy Prophet taught them.
Yes.
As the Imam Ali said alayhi salam, that علمني رسول الله ألف باب من العلم, that the Holy Prophet taught me 1,000 doors of knowledge. So they are the actual and the true ambassadors of Islam, of the Quran, of Rasulullah, of all the prophets since Adam alayhi salam. But of course, deviations happen to all religions of Allah Azza wa Jal. Those who came and wrote their own tafsir, their own ta'wil, they changed, wrote a hadith praising the enemies of Ahlul Bayt, enemies of Islam eventually.
MashaAllah. I think we have a caller on the line, inshallah we'll be able to get through to the person. Assalamu alaikum, you're live on Ahkam SOS.
Wa alaikum assalam, Brother Muslim.
How are you, brother?
Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah, good. You are now live with the Sheikh, please, your question.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
My question is, I would love to play bingo, because bingo seems like gambling. I don't know if it's that allowed or not allowed, because I've seen people playing bingo. I don't know if it's allowed in Islam to play.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. Inshallah, the Sheikh will answer. Sheikhna, bingo, very, very famous game. If, you play amongst friends, it's just, numbers come. Everyone has a sheet of paper with certain numbers on it, and the numbers are different. And they call out the number and you cross it off, and once you get a row or you get all the numbers, you shout bingo, and that's the game done. If you play on the high street, it involves money. You pay X amount of money for the numbers, for a sheet of paper with numbers, and you're there with the pen and you're trying to knock off all the numbers that come up. It's a game of chance. So, is this acceptable? Is this halal to play or not?
What ulama say in general, that any game in which originally is as a gambling game, betting game, is forbidden. Like the cards, the king, and the heart, and so forth. That kind of games, of course, are forbidden originally. But let's say you're watching a football match, volleyball, basketball. It's halal to attend and watch and play, but you can't bet on it. So these games are not originally betting games, but if you bet on them, this betting would be haram, not the game. So you have to differentiate between original betting game, gambling game, and a game which is not originally a betting game, but you bet on it, which becomes haram eventually.
Fantastic.
On this betting base.
Thank you very much for the brother calling. The phone lines are open. If you want to call in, 0203 515 0199 if you're in the UK. If you're outside the UK, you can just call a WhatsApp number there. Come straight into the studio. If you don't want to call in, send your questions via WhatsApp. Send your questions on Facebook Live in the comment section, on YouTube in the comment section. And inshallah, me and the Sheikh will be able to discuss and answer your questions. More questions coming in, Sheikh. From YouTube, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam.
What are some recommended du'as to say when getting married at the time of the nikah?
There is a specific line of dua when you want to, basically, on the day, let's say, the night of marriage, the wedding. It's a short dua, I can't remember exactly what it's mentioned, I think in Mafatih Janan somewhere in the book of Ad'iyah, that you would say that I'm taking her as a halal means and so forth. There are details about it, I can't remember. So you ask Allah Azza wa Jal that I've been blessed with this bride or the groom, and to be blessed that I got in halal way, of course, not haram. Nikah, not sifah, as they say. So you'll find that ad'iyah, inshallah, in the Mafatih Janan or other books, inshallah.
From WhatsApp, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh and brother. Alaikum salam. Firstly, Eid Mubarak. Joshua Mubarak to you too. Would like to ask that when Imam Hussein TV or any other channel who posts a message on their page, do we have to take permission to share the post, or is it permissible to share it? Thank you. According to the director of the channel, you don't need to ask any permission whatsoever. We are more than happy for you to share any material that comes on Imam Hussein TV's Telegram, Instagram, social media. Don't forget to tag us as well when you post it and so forth. From YouTube, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. If a person thinks about someone in a sexual way and he ejaculates some drops which are a lot but didn't come out by gush, so is that water or semen that came out najis, or also do I have to do ghusl then? This is what we call pre-ejaculation, Sheikhna. Sometimes a liquid comes out and so forth. Is this najis? Does someone have to perform ghusl?
No, this pre-ejaculation, which is not ejaculation, it's tahir and they don't need to do any ghusl. But sometimes the ejaculation would be somehow in the less, let's say, because they're ill, for example, less precious. But they can, you can feel it. That there are signs for, sometimes you don't feel it because you're ill, for example. But you still have to do the ghusl because you felt it. There are signs. I can't really mention it.
Fair enough.
Jazakumullah khair.
From WhatsApp, can we eat a fish that has died in water?
No, the only way you can eat it is when it's brought out by a human being, by a tool, with the control of the human being, and to die on the sand, outside the water.
Outside the water.
Inside the ship, for example.
Fine. From WhatsApp, I am a girl who has received many proposals for marriage, but each time my father has done istikhara and it came out bad. What should I do? Should I keep waiting until the istikhara comes out good? Very good question. Sheikhna, a lot of people do istikhara for marriage, whether this person is good or not. Also, istikhara for business, many things. First of all, should we do an istikhara when we have a proposal? Second thing, if we have a proposal, we do an istikhara, it comes out bad, should we walk away from it, or should we be like, no, I like the person, I want to get to know, I want more answers, I want to know more information about the person, and go against the istikhara?
Well, initially the hadith says that whoever comes and they have akhlaq and deen, faith and morality, then marry him. So it doesn't mention about istikhara at all. Istikhara is there when you're in hesitation, indecision, 50-50, in other words, unsure about this individual. Then you take istikhara. Of course, if it's bad, stick with it because it could turn out something bad. Because you're consulting Allah Azza wa Jal through the Quran. So stick with the istikhara. Bad, avoid it. Khalas. But as I've said, this is what the hadith says. he's got a faith and morality and ethics, then marry him. If you know the person and you know their family, their history, for example, خلاص توكل على الله and marry him. Yeah, unless you're unsure.
Fair enough. From Facebook, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. Salam, please. I'm watching from Facebook. When a person is addicted to a particular thing and he feels bad about, then how do I put a stop to that, either spiritual or emotional support? Okay, dealing with addiction, Sheikhna. Sometimes we have addictions. And it could be anything. Sometimes people are addicted to the gym. People are addicted to certain foods. Some people are addicted to alcohol. Some people are addicted to porn and so forth. So we have, halal addictions, and we also have haram addictions and so forth. Someone who's an addict, what is the best, dua or best exercise or what should they do to help them with their addiction?
I think one should initially take a pause for a little while and stop that work that they used to do, either work or exercise, I don't know, gym and so forth, to stop it for some time and then go back to it again.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one needs like practical steps initially.
Okay.
And then of course the dua would be also effective and other ibadat maybe as well.
Fair. But Sheikhna, what about if it is, an haram addiction? If it's alcohol or drugs or, porn or something like that?
Haram is haram. You have to stop it. I mean, if somebody, let's say, they are thrown into, let's say, a pool filled with acid, they try to, somehow save themselves and come out from this acid pool filled with acids, for example, harmful acids. You won't stay in that pool and swim and enjoy. So haram, the same thing. You have to try to run away from the haram acts, from the Satan. Otherwise, you're going to go deeper and deeper.
Yeah, indeed. I think what the brother or sister, what I would recommend also is maybe you need to look at some videos on rehabilitation. A lot of people who try to quit smoking or quit, drinking and things like that, they go to rehab and they have this thing about making decisions, breaking habits and so forth. Look up breaking habits and breaking addiction. There's a lot of material available online for free as well. And that will help you in the right direction. And inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you on your journey, especially if it is to purify your soul, inshallah. From YouTube, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. Can you reference a hadith from the 4 main Shia books which mention the name of all the Imams beginning from Ali to Muhammad al-Mahdi alayhi salam? I know there's one in Bihar al-Anwar.
Yes,
I've read that one myself.
Yes.
But the 4 main ones, Al-Kafi, Mandhayar, Man Yadhur al-Faqih, Istibsar, and also Tahzib al-Ahkam. Is there anything in those books?
I can't remember now, but as you mentioned, it's in the Bihar, yes. I've seen
the thing
it in
is,
Bihar.
they mentioned, see, the brother or sister here mentioned the 4 main books. The 4 main books are for fiqh. This is an aqaid question. Having been living in the 12 Imams is aqaid. It's not to do with fiqh. So you will find these in the fiqh section, in the aqaid sections in these hadith books. And most of the hadith that we have, or the 4 books, are for fiqh, they're not for aqaid. Like Bihar al-Anwar is very famous for aqaid, and you'll find it in there. From WhatsApp, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. Is it permissible for a female to ride a horse?
You see, again, if this is in the front of mahram men and she's wearing, let's say, tight clothes and the body shapes is shown.
Leggings, if she's a jockey.
Exactly.
Very famous here in the West.
One should avoid it, of course.
Riders,
Yeah, it becomes forbidden. But if it's in a private land, away from the non-mahram, of course, she can walk even without hijab because it's all closed doors and
riding horses in general, Sheikhna, is this mustahab? Is this recommended for us as Muslims, as the Shia or Amir al-Mu'mineen, to learn how to ride horses and so forth? Because horses were very common back then. Horses were used in battle, and is it a tradition of the Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen and of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that we should know how to ride horses?
Yeah, there's a narration, famous one, which recommends for a Muslim individual to learn horse riding and swimming, and there's one more.
Wrestling and archery.
Archery, ahsant.
Yeah. Ahsant. From WhatsApp, are playing wrestling, boxing, taekwondo and karate as a sport allowed? with blood involved?
No, if there's a harm, severe harm, of course not. It's not allowed to disable a limb or an organ, for example, cause harm to the other individual, severe harm, because now you have to do with paying them diya because of bleeding, for example, the individual. And then you have also, it shouldn't involve any other haram, such as mixed gathering, dancing, music, and so forth. Again.
Fair. Just a quick reminder to all the viewers, we are taking your questions live. If you have any questions you want to send in, send it via the WhatsApp numbers at the bottom. You can scan the QR code. If you're watching on Facebook Live or you're watching on YouTube, put your questions in the comment section, and inshallah, I will answer those for you. We have more questions here from WhatsApp. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. When it comes to Ramadan, how do we sight the moon?
Well, we usually go back to the offices of the Maraja and Ulama, as this is done every year. And we await their expert sightseeing, because they would actually do the moon sighting every year. So they have experts in Najaf, in Karbala, in Qom, holy city of Qom, in Mashhad possibly, even in the I think eastern part of Saudi Arabia, in Mantaqa al-Sharqiyya, as they call it, the eastern part of the Saudi, which is Ahsa and Qatif. They have also do moon sighting. So we usually go back to the office of the ulama, wait for the confirmation. If they said tomorrow is the first month of the Ramadan, khalas, we take it. That's the hujjah for us to follow.
Fantastic. From WhatsApp, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. I travelled a day in the month of Ramadan, and during the year I was unable to perform the qada fast. What is the kafara of delaying the qada fast?
No, in terms of the qada, it's wajib for you to perform the qada of the month of Ramadan. So if you missed it, then you have now the opportunity now in the month of Sha'ban, and becomes wajib just before the last day of the month of Sha'ban to perform the qada of this month, because you are in trouble, for example. That's it, just do the qada.
Fair enough. More questions are coming in here, Sheikhna. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. I wanted to ask, what is the nawafil that is performed between Dhuhr and Asr? Is it in between, or is it before or after?
Yeah, it's basically, you have 8 rak'ah before Dhuhr, 8 rak'ah before Asr. These are the nawafil of the Dhuhr and Asr.
And they're prayed as 2-2-2-2.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that?
Like Salatul Layl. Similar taqriban.
Fantastic. Sheikhna, we're going to go to a short break. Join us after the break as we continue our discussion here on Ahkam SOS. Now is the best time to send in your questions. We're going to go for a little break. If you have any question you'd like to send it now via the WhatsApp or on Facebook Live or YouTube. You can scan the QR code there in the corner, and that will take you straight to the WhatsApp page. And inshallah, after this short video, we'll be back to discuss your questions.
I have a question regarding keeping pictures of
Is it
scholars at
permissible to
home.
plant trees by or
Was
over
Islam
the graves?
established based on peace
Is
and
it permissible
non-violence?
to collect donations for charity projects from
Is it permitted
individuals?
to consume canned food imported from non-Muslim
Is there
countries?
an issue for men looking at non-Muslim women?
To have your questions answered live, WhatsApp us on +44 7415 09 2155.
For those interested in an Islamic law book by Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Al-Shirazi, please WhatsApp the Ahkam SOS team at the following number to place your order today: +44 7415 09 2155. The Islamic law book, available exclusively in hard copy, contains religious questions answered by Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Al-Shirazi. Order your hard copy today.
Yes, you can order now for the Islamic law book. Really, really nice. It's all in English. It's like got 2 volumes as well. First volume with Islamic laws to do with fasting, praying, tahara, hajj, and so forth. And second, living in the West. Things to do with banking, mortgages. Promoting Islam, promoting the name of Imam Hussein, and so forth. It is an excellent read, and I really, really encourage you guys to get it. Right now, the phone lines are open. You can scan the QR code for the WhatsApp and send in your questions that way. If you want to watch on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube, put your questions in the comment section, and they'll send them to me. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna.
Assalamu alaikum.
Sheikhna, is the holy month of Sha'ban. We've been discussing so much at the beginning of our show. Do you have any other hadith or anything to help us during this holy month?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Yes, indeed, a famous hadith which is narrated by the Shia, the non-Shia as well. Famous hadith which says Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would say that Hussein minni wa ana min Hussein, ahabba Allah man ahabba Hussein. Famous hadith read on the pulpits in the Muharram and other occasions. And that shows the attachment of Imam Hussein alayhi salam to his grandfather Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this proves that both are ma'soom and infallible. And both are Allah's representative on earth. Of course, Imam Hussein is not a prophet anymore or messenger, but Imam ma'soom.
Yes.
And he represents his grandfather Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as Khalifa, as Imam, Vice-Judge, whatever you want to call. And nobody else has the right to say that I represent Rasulullah, because you're not from his lineage. Because the Holy Prophet said, I leave my progeny after Kitabullah. And Kitabullah wa Ahl al-Bayt. So, if Imam al-Hussein is part of Rasulullah, and Rasulullah is part of al-Hussein, what does it mean? It's one entity, but in two different bodies, in two souls. They gather in imamah, in usmah, in knowledge, in being the Hujjatullah on the earth. You cannot ignore imamat Imam Hussein alayhi salam and bring somebody else who was mushrik, who was kafir, who was filled with the shirk, with impurities in Jahiliyyah time, and to appoint him as Khalifat Rasulullah. It's impossible. We cannot accept it.
Question coming here from one of our viewers. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. What is the best means of educating and culturing the self, and what are the best deeds one should practice?
The hadith famously mentions that that you have to kun wasiya nafsik, مضمون الحديث, that be the admonisher, the advisor of yourself. Don't wait for others to tell you what to do, for example. Sometimes we know what to do, but we just ignore ourselves. And sometimes we get lazy, to practice, to organize ourselves spiritually, religiously. So, kun wasiya nafsik. You try to be your own advisor, your own mentor, because you have all the backgrounds, you have some information, so you can. You have some knowledge, you've read some narrations, Quran, Hadith. So try to organize yourself by yourself. And of course, you can ask for the aid and support of others, ulama and so forth, books and so forth.
Fair. Question here from WhatsApp. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. Can I kiss my girlfriend on Valentine's? Because if I don't, she will break up with me and I cannot convince her to do mut'ah with me. Brother, you're in a bit of a pickle there, mate. I think you should be more worried about what Allah says. But Sheikhna, someone is in a little bit of a situation here, has a girlfriend, saying it's Valentine's, she wants me to kiss her, I don't want to kiss her because I haven't done mut'ah with her. And if I don't, she's going to break up with me. What should he do, Sheikhna?
Well, initially, let her break up, because if you do this haram act, you're going to break up with your own Imam Zaman. So think about your Imam Zaman, who's watching you for every deed you do.
Indeed.
That's number one. Number two, convince her that let's do it in this way, in the halal way. Explain to her briefly about Islam and the religion and the condition of a Muslim cannot touch a woman who is not halal to her, except through nikah contract. Otherwise, leave her. It's not worth to marry somebody who is against faith and religion.
Fair. From WhatsApp, he said you didn't answer the. Hold on. If a person thinks about someone, comes out and right in regards to let me say the question again from the start.
Sure.
If a person thinks about someone in a sexual way and he ejaculates some drops, which are a lot but didn't come out by gushing. So if the water semen that came out najis, and also does the person need to do the ghusl?
I think we explained.
We discussed it, but they're saying that, look, you didn't mention the ghusl part. Do I have to do ghusl or not?
I said it's tahir and there's no issue. There's no
Fine,
ghusl
there's no
needed
ghusl.
because this is not. This is called either wadi, madi, and wadi. So you have to
Okay.
first search about these three
Fair.
types of liquids that comes
Fair.
pre-ejaculation,
Mhm.
which are tahir and no ghusl needed at all.
Got a question here from WhatsApp. Salaam alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam.
I'm in a little bit of a problem. My next door neighbor, she keeps sending me food and she's always flirting with me. I've told my wife about this, but she just laughs. My next door neighbor wants to send me gifts on Valentine's and is always calling me over to fix her tap or her bulb and stuff. What should I do?
Well, one should not follow. I think the Quran mentions خطوات الشيطان, the steps of Satan and devil. Do not follow these steps because the end result would be devastating. So I think you might lose both of them at the end of the year, your wife and.
I mean, look,
So-
the brother here is saying
Yeah.
that I'm a married man.
Exactly.
She's like, flirting with me or whatever. I've told my wife that, look, this is what she's doing, and the wife's laughing and thinks it's funny. So obviously he wants to protect his marriage, he wants to protect his household, he doesn't want to go into haram. What is the best course of action?
We have in Arabic a method which says the door in which the wind comes through, in a cold wind,
Yeah.
just close it.
Mhm.
Just close your door and ignore her خلاص. This is
Yeah.
the best result.
Hmm.
Because if you keep the door open, they keep coming. The shaitan keep coming. Close the door and خلاص.
MashaAllah, we're getting a lot of questions in regards to relationships and Valentine's, even though it is the birthday of Abu Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. Sheikh, I'm getting some questions coming in, but it is the night of Abu Fadl. And do you have anything on Abu Fadl Abbas? Anything whatsoever?
To be honest, we can't really say much about Imam Abbas salamullah alayhi because we don't have that much information
Mhm.
to be able to sit down and talk about this great personality. But what Imam Ali alayhi salam said to Aqil when he
Yes.
wanted for him to choose
Uh-huh.
and to find a lady, noble lady who can, he said to him that to support my son Hussein in Karbala.
Yes.
Imam Ali salam pre-planned for the future of Karbala to be supported by this great man Al-Abbas salamullah alayhi, to support Imam Hussein. So I can say the goal and the aim for Al-Abbas to be in this world, to be in Karbala with Imam Hussein salamullah alayhi, with brother salamullah alayhi, to support him. That's it.
Fantastic. MashaAllah, sent. From WhatsApp, me and my wife are going out for Valentine's. Can I kiss her in public?
I mean, as I've said before, what would arouse the lust and shahwa and temptation would not be correct because that would eventually, in front of other men, for example, we shouldn't imitate and copy and
the
replicate others.
I mean, if you do it in Dubai, I think you go to prison for that. You can't even hold hands apparently in Dubai. Like they're very, very strict. So showing affection outside, I mean, okay, your husband and wife, no problem, but behind closed doors, it's not for the public to see. From YouTube, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. What is the earliest hadith book that mentions the names of the Imams from Ali to Muhammad al-Mahdi alayhi salam?
I can't remember the exact book, but as I've mentioned, it's in the Bihar al-Anwar, mentions one by one.
What is the earliest hadith book we have?
We have Kitab Sulaym ibn Qais, yeah.
Which is probably the earliest.
It talks about mainly about the incidents after the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi. Could have the hadith, I can't remember at all. I read the book, but I
Yeah,
can't remember.
also we go to Al-Kafi a lot because it was at the time of Ghaibat al-Sughra.
Yes,
So there was still access to the Imam. So people use that one quite often as well. From YouTube, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. If a girl I know invites me to hang out with her and I know she's not practicing, I'm scared of being influenced, but at the same time, I find it difficult to decline her invitation. What do I do? Okay, I'm assuming this is a sister saying that I've got a friend, she's a girl, she doesn't practice as much. She's saying, come, let's hang out, let's, spend some time together. She feels that she is a bad influence on her or will be a bad influence. What should she do?
I'll just give a general guideline for this question, that the human being have three enemies. Number one is the Satan, shaitan. Number two is nafs al-ammara, the evil self. And number three is the sadiq al-su, evil friends.
Yeah.
So you have to fight these three enemies. To be with Ahlul Bayt, to be with the Quran, to be with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Otherwise, if you fall as a prey to one of these, of course, you've lost your dunya and akhirah. Na'udhu billah.
Good question here from YouTube, Sheikh. There is so much uncertainty about the result of an event. Any dua for this uncertainty? Right. So when we have, first of all, whatever will be, will be. You have no control over that. So whatever the outcome is going to be, it's going to be. You doing dua or praying for something, I'll let Sheikh tell you the best dua for a result that you want. However, worrying about what the result is going to be at the end or so forth, this is going to cause anxiety. It is, trying to live in the future when you should be living in the present. And it can be unhealthy for the mind. But I'm going to pass it over to the Sheikh. Sheikh, let's say there's a dua that they want, there's an event happening, and it could be anything, Sheikh. It could be exams, it could be marriage, it could be going to court or something like that. We are worried about the outcome. So we do dua, we're on the prayer mat. Ya Allah, please, I want it to be like this. Please, Ya Allah, this and that, and so forth. What dua do you recommend, Sheikh?
Well, initially, because this world is based on causes and facts and materials, we have to follow the phases and the steps of the causes, asbab, musabbabat.
Yes.
So if it's exam, I have to prepare and revise well to get the best results. So that's number one. Number two, spiritual dua, of course, as you mentioned, on top of the efforts and all the what is needed to get that result. Studying, revising, memorizing, working very hard, long hours, overtime, and so forth. But also the dua would have the effect and influence. So if one can recite dua al-amn, for example, which begins with Ya man tuhal bihi uqad al-makarih, dua al-amn, in the beginning of Mafatih Janan, you'll find it there after dua tawassul, inshallah.
Okay.
A great
Inshallah,
dua. Yes.
Inshallah.
With the sabab, the cause. And that is your efforts as well. You can't sit at home and say, oh Allah, give me rizq, without going and working, finding a job. You have to find a job, work, and ask rizq as well.
Ahsantum. From WhatsApp, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. I am a boy. Can I go out with my male friend for Valentine's Day because we are best friends? Hopefully your best friend doesn't fancy you. But Sheikhna, if you go out with your friend, it's a male, we're just going to use the occasion to go out and have fun and we're going to eat and so forth. Can we do that?
As long as you don't commit any haram and wrongdoings, should be fine. Just going out, a restaurant, for example, to the playground, to play in the park, shopping centers, I don't know. Should be fine, but don't commit sin. That's the main thing. Taqwa. That's what Quran encourages. Ittaqullah haqqa tuqatih. Ittaqullah mastata'tum. The narrations, the sermons of Ahlul Bayt, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Taqwa Allah. Usikum bi taqwa Allah.
From WhatsApp, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I stay in a shared accommodation whereby the kitchen is shared by non-Muslims and also some eat pork. I have seen one cooking pork in the oven. I don't use the oven at all as there are two ovens. My main question is, everything there is tahir, like the cooking slips and everything. Sometimes the slips or gas stoves are oily because it's a student accommodation, so 7 to 8 people share the kitchen. Is everything tahir there, or I have to take precaution of washing my dishes properly, avoiding the slips, etc.? Also, I try cleaning all the utensils bottom before keeping on my personal room table or anything, as most of the time the slips in the kitchen are oily and dirty with other people's food. Could you please advise me on this, how I should live according to Islamic ethos? So, very, very tricky predicament there, Sheikhna. It's not just students. There's a lot of people that sometimes have shared accommodation where they've got their rooms, but there's like a communal lounge area, a shared kitchen or a shared bathroom. And yeah, sometimes we share it with non-Muslims. Here in the kitchen, they're saying pork is being used. In the oven, on the hobs and the grill and so forth. Sometimes I walk in, I'm going to cook food. The chopping board, it's a bit wet, it's this, that. I don't know if I can use it or not. Is it tahar? The pots and pans still may have a bit of oil in them. Is this oil from pork or not? I'm not sure. What does one do in this situation?
I mean, alhamdulillah, the brother or the sister who raised this question, they have, alhamdulillah, the knowledge about
Tahara,
the rule of
yeah.
tahara, which is great. I mean, again, we go back to the basis or to the qaida that kullu shay laka tahir, everything is tahir, unless you're certain it's najis. So again, the same applied is here, not only in the kitchen, also in the bathroom, on the floor of the bathroom. Have you seen najasa impurity? Otherwise it's tahir, or that's been used by non-Muslims. So that's the ruling. Islam is there to, ease the situation for the individual. Al-usr, al-yusr, we have the yusr and usr. So ease. Islam is a religion of yusr, of ease. So unless you're certain, then you have to avoid and wash your hands or whatever. Otherwise, everything is tahir.
MashaAllah. Got a question coming here from YouTube. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna.
As-salam.
Can I do mut'a with a horse? What kind of question is
No,
that?
these are,
But Sheikhna,
we have these discussions in the fiqh about with animals, na'udhu billah, what's the hukum of that animal, what's the hukum of this individual. So one should not even think about these things, regardless of being a zina, na'udhu billah, or with the animals.
Sheikhna, even with animals, because I know it's common in America as well. Sometimes people even get married with animals and things like that.
Yes.
I think it's called bestiality or something like that. Strictly haram, not allowed whatsoever in Islam.
This is because of distancing ourselves from the true teachings of religion. All religions would forbid this act, even with what we see with some religions with their aqa'id and so forth. But still, you won't see a religion like even Judaism or Christianity, Masihiyya, would allow such acts. So this is because of being away from the teachings of Allah Azza wa Jal.
I see.
Even the teaching of the aql, because the aql hukum is in line with the religion and deen. So they even ignored the rule of the aql as well, the rule of the reason.
Awesome. Sheikh, I think we've got time for 2 more questions quickly because we're running out of time here. Is it permissible for a woman to wear perfume when going out of her home? I'm going out to see my husband and I want to smell good.
Yes, some ulama said that if it's the intention is not to attract other males, then she can do so.
And finally from YouTube, whatever is written in low qalam will happen, then doesn't dua give us anxiety? Dua gives me anxiety. I'm constantly hoping that the outcome will be according to what I want, even if it is not in my taqdeer. Brother or sister, it sounds like you are having some sort of issues. You might need to see someone professional. If you're having anxiety, and if it's a case of, I want this, I want that, I want this and I want that, and it's not coming to you, and you're dealing with it like this, then you need to maybe reevaluate yourself and get some professional help. But Sheikh, now someone who keeps having anxiety, what du'as or what can they do for themselves?
Again, they have to see an expert in the medical field, very important, psychiatric and so forth.
Fair.
And then the ad'iyah that we have today, as I mentioned, du'a al-amn, very important. Du'a tawassul, du'a kumayl, du'a nudba. Come to the majlis of Ahlul Bayt, eat from the niyaz and the barakah of Ahlul Bayt, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. And thank you to all the viewers for joining us on this episode of Ahkam SOS. If you have any question you'd like to ask, please send it via the WhatsApp, numbers at the bottom, QR code there. Or join us next time, which will be on Monday, inshallah, 7 p.m. here on Imam Hussein TV 3. Enjoy the celebrations as we are in the holy month of Sha'ban, and we'll see you soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
have a duty towards the preservation and the propagation of the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Indeed, one of the best ways to work towards the reappearance of Imam al-Mahdi ajjalallahu ta'ala farajul sharif is through promoting the values of Karbala. Imam Hussein Media Group is the only Shia television network that broadcasts globally in 5 different languages: Arabic, Farsi, Turkish, Urdu, and English. We are appealing to the lovers of Imam Hussein alayhi salam worldwide to support the channel such that it may continue its global operations. Imam Hussein Media Group is seeking 1,000 partners to pledge to a £14 contribution per month. This will allow the channel to sustain its operating costs as we continue to spread the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam in multiple languages across the globe. You be a part of this great legacy and donate today. You can pledge in 2 ways. www.imamhussein3.tv/donate will take you direct to our donation page where you can pledge monthly. Or you can call or WhatsApp us on 0044 793 9917163. Imam Hussein TV, your gateway to Karbala.
More than 3,000 members of the Shia Hazara community have been killed since September 2011, according to reports.
Hundreds of Iraqi pilgrims arrive at the house of Grand Ayatollah Shirazi.
On Saturday, the Saudi authorities executed 21 people on other charges.
Taliban abusing humanitarian aid in Afghanistan.
Shia Rights Watch expresses its condemnation on the targeted bombings in the Iraqi capital Baghdad.
There is so much happening that now is the right moment to bring together the biggest stories in one place at one time. It's ambitious, it's a first for the Shia around the world. Join me, Ayoub Nueno, for Shia Waves, live only on Imam Hussein TV free.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Hussein from London. You're very blessed to be in the holy land of Karbala. Please pray for us and pray for everyone who do wish to go.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. I want to pay my respects to Imam Hussein and Maula Abbas from my parents, and I would like you to recite Salam and Ziyarah for Imam Hussein and Maula Abbas on my behalf.
السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين وأولاد الحسين وأصحاب الحسين وأنصار الحسين لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا غازي السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين.
Jiddu, I need to tell you a secret. I had an exam today and I cheated on the exam, and to be honest, I feel like it's eating me up inside as if it's haram.
Your father used to do the exact something and would always get in trouble. But you have done it now and cannot go back. I don't know if it is haram. Khair inshallah.
Thanks, Jiddu. Jiddu, I wanted to ask if it's halal to buy lottery tickets. They're so cheap and we could make a lot of money.
I don't know if it is halal or haram, but never think about something like that again.
Okay, I was just asking. Jiddu.
تعبتني. What do you want now?
I just wanted to ask if the sweet beef gelatin is halal or haram.
You're supposed to check it before buying it, not after. I don't know if this is halal or haram.
Okay.
What now? I am trying to relax. Why do you keep asking me? تعالي هنا الخاطر الله. Just go watch Ahkam SOS. Any question you have, they can answer you. You can call them, message them, anything.